AC Ace, 1953 to 63. AC Cobra, 1962 to 1968. Alfa Romeo Spire, 2000, 1966 to 1993. Allard J2J, J2X, 1946 to 1959. Avis TD ET TE Avis TD ET TF 21 1958 to 1967. Aston Martin DB2 DB24 DB24 Mark II and DB Mark III 1950 to 1959. Aston Martin DV5 1963 to 1965. Aston Martin 1969 to 1990. Aston Martin A90 Atlantic 1948 to 1950. Austin A90 Atlantic 1948 to 1952. Austin Healey 300 1959 to 1967. Austin Healey Sprite 1958 to 1961. Abarth Amphicar Armstrong Sedley Audi Austin. Bentley Centennial R 1952 to 1953. BMW 5070 1955 to 1959. BMW 200 2002 Turbo 1972 to 1973. BMW 3.0 CSL 1971 to 1975. Bristol 401 1949 to 1953. Bristol 411 1970 to 1976. Buick Riviera 1963 to 1964. 1965. Buick Riviera 1963 to 65. Berkeley Vaughn Cadillac Eldorado Barrett Buckingham 1957 to 58. Cadillac Eldorado Blitz 1959. Chevy Corvette Stingray 1963 to 1967. Chevy Corvair 1959 to 1969. Chrysler 202 Coupe 1948 to 1952. 15 and 16, 1934 to 1955. Citroen DS 1955 to 1975. One of the craziest cars to start up. The Citroen DS. Citroen SM 1970 to 1975. Coston Daimler SP 200 Dart 1959 to 1964. Daimler Majestic Major. Datsun 240Z 1969 to 1975. Dodge. Dodge Charger RT, 1967 to 1970. Then we got DAF, Delrange, Dello, Del Hall, Del Thomason, DKW. Edsel, 1957 to 1959. Elva, Felicio Valaga, Falcon 2, 1962 to 1964. Ferrari 275 GTB and GTB 4, 1964 to 1968. Ferrari Dino 206 246 GT, 1968 to 1973. Ferrari Daytona 365 GTB 4, 1968 to 1973. Fiat 500, 1957 to 1977. Fiat 850 Coupe. Fiat 130 Coupe. Ford Consul Zephyr 1950 to 1962. Lotus Cornet 1963 to 1970.
No, I gotta do that now. I gotta get Gordo.
Ford Escort RS 68 to 1980.
We gotta lift that gate up because it's completely come out.
Ford Mustang 1964 to 1973.
Hello. I know you
Ford
me.
Thunderbird 1955 to 1957.
The whole load's moved. All the tyres have moved.
Ford Capri 1969 to 1986. Frelstroke Falcon Fetzer Nash. Gordon Kibler
What is?
1964 to 1966. Gilbin Janetta GS 800 1963 to 1979. Hinkle Huron Huskin Hillman HGR Humble ISO Goof 1963 to 1974. Ivaca Jaguar SK 120 140 150 1948 to 1961.
This freaking gate on here when it don't fit. Oh, that one's come undone.
Jaguar MK2 1959 to 1969. Jaguar E-Type 1961 to 1975.
Is that better?
Jaguar XJ6 1968 to 1987.
I'm so fat.
Jaguar Mark X 420G 1961 to 1970. Jensen FF 1966 to 1971. Jensen 541R 1957 to 1960. Gelnuts Canaf Lagonda 1976 1990. Lamborghini G350 GT 1964 to 1968. Lamborghini Mira 1966 to 1962. Lamborghini Espada 1968 to 1978.
Well, if we can have a look around here, there's all sorts of
Lancia.
There's some
Lancia Alberto
old stuff.
B20 GT6 series
Everything's dark.
1950 to 1958.
You've got some great little trinkets in here.
Lancia
Yeah, it's great to come down and have a chat with Tom.
Lancia Fiove 1.6 HF 1968 to 1969.
Is a cattle station. Bullock Creek.
Lancia Spartos 1973 to 1975. Lincoln Continental, 1962 to 1979.
To get in the end of the month. All going well, it'll be down to Gingerella, across to Bullock Creek, and back to Cairns by mid-afternoon.
Lotus 7 and Super 7, 1957 to 1970. Lotus, it's here. Lotus, it's here. 1959 to 1963. Lotus, Elaine, 1962 to 1973.
Western Australia.
Laganda,
Two heavy
Lanchester, La France,
stretcher
LMB, Lloyd,
that could be safe to cross, or an accident.
Maserati, Ghibli, 1967 to 1973.
Got you ready?
Master Smith, Maserati, Boba, 71 to 1980. Messerschmitt Kims,
No worries, safe slot, buddy. You had to safe up. No worries.
Mazda, Cosmo, 1966 to 1972. Marato, Marcos,
So over this one.
Mercedes-Benz, 300 SL,
Avoid the hole,
1954 to 1963.
but if she drives too close to the edge,
Mercedes
she
230,
in
250, 280 SL, 1963 to 1971.
Around here and you went down a hole. Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz 280 SE 3.5 coupe, 69 to 1970. Mercedes-Benz 600, 63 to 1981.
All right.
MG TC DT TF 1945 to 1955. Messerschmitt
All right.
Metropolitan.
I was trying to avoid the holes.
Our other makers. MG MGA 1955 to 1962. MGB 1962 to 1980. Mini
I know that there's a holes here.
Mini 1959 to unknown. Still in production.
All right.
Morgan 44 1955 to unknown. Still in production. Magenta Maserati Morgan
back the badge.
plus 8 1968 to unknown. Still in production. Morris Minor 1948 to 1971. Morris Moksvich NSU row 80 67 to 1977. Noble Oldsmobile Torino 1965 to 1977. Oracle Opel
The name of our firm matters to us. It's my father's name and his father's name too. But why should it matter?
Penhard 224 TC 63 to 67.
Experience and resources to work for our clients.
Pagasco
Everyone
Z120 102 and Z103 51 to 58. Porsche 356 1949 to 1950. Porsche 911 1964 to unknown. Still making them. Paramount Peel Viking Curtis Wilkin Powerville Piper Renault Simca GTE 1968 to 1969 to 86. Renault 16 1964 to 1979. Reliant Really RM Esme 1947 to 1954. Rudy Rochdale
Come on. The middle of the
Rolls Royce,
Around
Silver Shadow, Silver Cloud, and Bailey S Series, 59 to 65.
to the east and nothing. 184 kilometers back to the west. Nothing.
Rolls Royce, Silver Shadow, 1965 to 1980. Rover, P5, 3.5 liter, 1967 to 1973.
What do you think?
Rover, P6, 1963 to 1971. Saab, 96, 1960 to 1980.
Vet is in Adelaide.
Salenta, Semca, Skota, Standard, Singer, Starlord Punch. Sunbeam, Sunbeam Tiger, 1964 to 1968.
Hughes needs to find out whether the rain he's been driving
Sunbeam Travant,
through any roads. His main concern is
Sunbeam Swallow,
that's depending on
Tatra,
to get through.
Tatra 603, 1955 to 1975.
Hey, is that Tony?
Toyota 200 GT, Toyota 2000 GT, 1967 to 1970. Triumph, Triumph Roadster, 1946 to 1949. Triumph TR233A, 1953 to 1962. Triumph TR456, 1962 to 1976. Triumph Stag, 1970 to 1977.
A closed road means a massive detour.
I've got to go around the wrong way. The short ways out.
TVR Vixen S1,
Possible news
1968 to 1969.
day.
Travant logo, Travant, Trendy, Underpower, Tanner. Vauxhall, Vauxhall Caspata PA, 1957 to 1962. Vendor, Volger, Volkswagen, Volkswagen Beetle, Volkswagen Beetle, 1945 to unknown. Volvo, P1800, P1800S, 1800E, and 1800ES, 1960 1973. Woosley, 680, 1948 to 1954. Other makers, Wartburg and Zappos.
Rather than push on any further, I'll just get up to the radius and have a bottle of the share.